So Everton fans, it looks as though it's finally happening. Stay calm everyone, it's happening, the takeover is happening. I'm trying to paraphrase The Office there, I hope you got that reference. Can't show it because of copyright. But yeah, it looks as though this takeover is finally going to happen. The Freidkin Group, who were one of the parties that were interested a while ago, they have now expressed an interest, and it looks as though the takeover is going to happen. A deal has been agreed between Farhad Moshiri and the Freidkin Group over the sale of that 94% stake that Moshiri has in Everton. So let's have a look at the specifics here. So I'm going to read from an article on BBC Sport, their sports section here. So let's go through this now. The deal is subject to regulatory approval from the Premier League, the Football Association and the Financial Conduct Authority. Yes, because of course they have to pass the fit and proper person test, because you know how rigorous that test is, the test that let in the likes of Mike Ashley and some fake sheikhs and people like that in Notts County back in the day. Go look up that is a can of worms, that story. But yeah, they'll pass those tests 100%. They've got money, they'll let them in. A spokesperson for the Freidkin Group said in a statement on Monday, "We are pleased to have reached an agreement to become custodians of this iconic football club. We are focused on securing the necessary approvals to complete the transaction. We look forward to finding the stability of the club and sharing our vision for its future, including the completion of the new Everton Stadium at Bramley Moor Dock." The Freidkin Group has agreed a deal in principle to purchase the current owner of Everton, Farhad Moshiri's 94% stake in June, but talks were called off a month later after the two parties failed to finalise an agreement. That followed the Miami-based 777 partners being unable to complete a deal earlier this year. Chairman Dan Freidkin, who also owns Serie A side Roma, has a net worth of £5.7 billion according to Forbes. In a complex saga surrounding the takeover, American businessman and Crystal Palace owner John Textor then jumped in for talks but could not complete a deal because the Premier League rules prohibit individuals from owning more than one team. The Freidkin Group is already a lender to the club after injecting £200 million through this though this can be converted to equity as part of the deal. The agreement between the group and Moshiri's Blue Heaven Holdings has been signed and finances are in place for completion. The group's due diligence on the club was done when they were given exclusivity in June, and concerns around the £200 million loan provided by 777 partners has been resolved. In June, American businessman Freidkin wanted Roma and Premier League club Everton to sit at the top of a multi-club model, of course, multi-club ownership. Last week, the Italian club sacked boss Daniele De Rossi just 4 games into the new season, and on Sunday, supporters displayed their anger at decision to dismiss the club legend, while chief executive Lina Suluku stepped down from her role. Sean Dyche's Everton side are joint bottom of the Premier League and yet to win this season, collecting just 1 point from their opening 5 games. So I just want to get some thoughts in here from me. So first of all, I think it's positive. Clearly, Moshiri is either not interested in Everton as much anymore or not able to take them to the next step. You can't say that he's not invested money into the club. They are one of the highest net spenders, or were one of the highest net spenders in the world like 2-3 years ago. The problem is that a bit like Manchester United, to be fair, they just spent money on the wrong players. And a change of ownership, I think, off the pitch is working well for Man United. I want it's a bit more debatable, to be honest with you, but there you go. But when it comes to Everton, they have big potential as a club. I mean, I take the mick out of Everton all the time, but in all seriousness, Everton are a really big club. They have a really good history. They are still one of the most successful sides in the history of English football, but they've just not had the same success as what they used to have. They've not won a trophy in nearly 30 years now. I think the last trophy they won was the 1995 FA Cup. Correct me if I'm wrong, Evertonians. And of course, obviously on the pitch, they're really struggling. They look like they are going to be in for another relegation battle, a third relegation. Well, if you count last season as well, a 4th relegation battle in 4 years. It's something that even in the worst times of Everton, you didn't really see. And this is a club that's been in the Premier League or been in the top flight of English football for the longest out of any team apart from Arsenal. They've been there for over 70 years now, so they're pretty much a institution when it comes to that. The thing is for them though, even if this takeover goes through, which it will do, what's going to happen after that? Will they sack Sean Dyche? It's not uncommon for owners to get rid of the old manager, to kind of just put their stamp of authority on the club. And even though they're getting this injection of money in, even though they're getting these finances, when it comes to profit and sustainability, as Everton know very, very well, it's difficult to spend a lot of money. And on top of that as well, that money can't be spent until January at the earliest. And then on top of that too, are they going to be cut adrift by then? They've got 1 point so far in the Premier League. It's been a terrible start to the season. Them and Southampton, I think, are the only guys on 1 point. So it's going to, no matter what, it's going to be a long and nervy season for Everton fans. But at least off the pitch, this just gives them hope of something new. But whether that can affect things enough this season is going to remain to be seen, because they're in such a terrible position with their FFP. They would have to raise their revenue to be able to spend on players. How are they going to do that in 4 months before the January transfer window ends? I have no idea. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's a positive thing, I think, for sure. But yeah, I would also be a little concerned about what the Freidkin Group have done at Roma, because yeah, they've had success at Roma, of course, but the way they just, got rid of De Rossi like that this early into the season, I think that would tell me they don't mess around, and probably Sean Dyche's head is going to be on the chopping block. Then who do you bring in to help? Again, answers on a postcard. Everton fans, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. As always, is this a positive move for your club? Does it kind of help you be a bit more financially stable, financially kind of sound and everything over these years to come? Let us know your thoughts. And of course, keep it subscribed to the footballchronicle.com to see much more football content just like this.